All right, so when you reread or rewatch Harry Potter and suddenly go, wait, that was a clue this whole time? Yeah, that. Because let me tell you, J.K. Rowling wasn't just writing books. She was out here playing wizard level 4D chess, dropping plot twists books in advance, and most of us didn't even realize it until we looked back. So today, I'm diving into some of the craziest plot twists that were hiding in plain sight the entire time. And I'm warning you now, once you see these, you're never going to read the books the same way again. Let's get into it. All right, starting off with the big one. So, in Chamber of Secrets, when Harry stabs the diary and destroys it, Dumbledore gives him this strange little explanation. He's like, you can speak parcel tongue, Harry, because Voldemort, who is the last remaining descendant of Salazar Slytherin, can speak parcel tongue. And we're all like, cool, makes sense. Harry's got some Voldy residue, whatever. But jump to Half-Blood Prince, and boom, we find out that diary wasn't just a memory. It was a freaking Horcrux. And why could Harry speak Parseltongue? Because he was basically a Horcrux too. Rowling literally told us the plot twist in book 2, and we just nodded along like, sure, talking to snakes, that's normal. Unreal. Okay, second one. Let's talk about Scabbers, Ron's weird little rat friend that no one ever questioned, even though he was suspiciously old for a pet. In Prisoner of Azkaban, Ron goes, Scabbers has been in my family for like 12 years. 12. And somehow no one stops to ask, hey Ron, why is your rat basically a geriatric? Because, plot twist, it's not a rat. It's Peter Pettigrew, in full animagus mode, just chilling in the Weasley household like a creep. Rowling literally planted the clue in the dialogue, and we were like, haha, that's funny. No, that's a confession disguised as casual banter. Now this one's kinda eerie. Trelawney's silly little Christmas prediction. In Prisoner of Azkaban, she shows up to dinner, sees 13 people at the table, and says, when 13 dine together, the first to rise will be the first to die. And everyone's like, here she goes again. But guess what? She wasn't wrong. There were 13 people there, including Scabbers, who was technically Pettigrew. And the first person to stand up? Dumbledore. And who's the first in that group to die? Yep, Dumbledore. This moment went from LOL okay, Trelawney, to hold up. She actually predicted a major death years before it happened. Don't ever sleep on the weird professor, I guess. Okay, now this next one might be one of Rowling's sneakiest setups, the Vanishing Cabinet. In Chamber of Secrets, Harry randomly ends up in Borgin and Burke's and notices this broken old cabinet. Just a background detail, right? Then, in Order of the Phoenix, Fred and George shove Montague into a similar cabinet at Hogwarts as a prank. Again, just a funny moment. But no, in Half-Blood Prince, Draco Malfoy uses those exact cabinets to smuggle the Death Eaters into Hogwarts. One in Borgin and Burke's, one in the school, they're linked. So the entire way the Death Eaters infiltrate the castle, that setup was planted 4 books earlier. Rowling didn't just foreshadow that plot point, she literally had the objects and the mechanics already in place. Genius. All right, back to Dumbledore being cryptic, because that man couldn't just say anything straight. At the end of Chamber of Secrets, he tells Harry something that seems pretty casual. You can speak Parseltongue because Lord Voldemort put a bit of himself in you the night he gave you that scar. And we're like, oh cool, that explains the snake thing. But in reality, this was our first real hint that Harry was a Horcrux. Dumbledore didn't say it directly, but he basically spelled it out. It wasn't until Half-Blood Prince that he finally explained Horcruxes in full, and even then, he didn't tell Harry the whole truth until Deathly Hallows. But that little line in Book 2? That was everything. Rowling had already planted the seeds of Harry's final sacrifice. We just didn't know how deep it went. Now this last one, it's sneaky and hilarious. In Chamber of Secrets, when Harry and Ron are trying to figure out who Tom Riddle is and why he got a special award, Ron says, totally sarcastically, "Maybe he murdered Moaning Myrtle. That would have done everyone a favor." And I remember reading that like, haha, Ron being Ron, but he was actually right. Riddle did kill Myrtle. That moment was one of his first acts of dark magic, and it led to the Chamber of Secrets being opened and the creation of one of his first Horcruxes. So Ron's snarky little joke? Yeah, that was Rowling hiding key lore inside of a punchline. And that's just scratching the surface. There are so many clever little callbacks and foreshadowing moments in this series, it's honestly wild. Like, every time you reread the books, you catch something new and you're like, how did I miss that? Anyway, what about you? What's the moment in Harry Potter that made you stop and go, no way, that was hinted at this whole time? Drop your favorites in the comments because I'm going to be featuring some of your best picks in an upcoming video. And if you're a nerd for deep lore and secret clues like me, hit that subscribe button. We've got way more magic to uncover. All right, I'll see you in the next one.